Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, so let's just dive in, and let's start off with this image here. So this is all of the GCs behind Hedera. Today we're actually going to be talking about why I believe that Hedera and HBAR will change everything. And when I say everything, I do mean everything. One of the names on this diagram, right? ServiceNow. What is the use case behind ServiceNow with Hedera? If you guys know the use case, comment down below in the comments. The use case between ServiceNow and Hedera is digitizing workflows within the enterprise grade area. Now, if you know ServiceNow, you know that they have a direct link to 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. So for ServiceNow to be digitizing their workflows, that means that it's going to domino effect into 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. These are companies that you, me, and everyone around us utilize on a day-to-day basis. But that's just one name on this list. You see EDF, a top 5 utility provider around the world. Again, domino effect trickling in to the retail sector. FPOS, you guys know it. If you're from Australia, you know it. FPOS is a huge name in the game around finance. Direct link to the retail sector. IBM, Google, T-Mobile. I mean, do I really need to go on here? No, I don't, because you guys are understanding the fact that at the end of the day, every single major sector and industry out there, retail and non-retail, even talking about enterprise grade, institutional grade, every single major sector and industry will be disrupted by DLT at some point in time. We've talked about this, we focused on it for so long. Now, in my opinion, Hedera is a little bit ahead of the game. What have we been focused on for so long? We've been in a year of ups and downs, but since I've started talking about Hedera and HBAR, this goes back almost 2 years ago now. There's one thing that I truly found very interesting around Hedera, and that is the trust layer factor behind it. I believe that Hedera could be the trust layer for Web3 because of its ABFT compliance. Now, also, I believe that the speed and the efficiency of this DLT could ultimately usher in a revolution around DLT because of micropayments as well as the efficiencies within the enterprise grade sector. Now, FIS, I want to focus on FIS because this is a name that is a very large entity. In fact, if you wanted to go over to their website, you guys are more than welcome to. They move almost 90% of, well, I should say they manage like 90% of the finance around the world. If you don't need to take my word for it. In fact, if I just went over here to the website, I think it's like right on their home page. So let me see. Yeah, here we go. So it's right here. So over 50%, over half of the world's wealth is managed on our systems. We enable 95% of the world's leading banks. And then the last one here, we move 2 times as much money as our top 3 competitors. So they are a very large financial company. And here you have them talking about blockchain technology. A blockchain-based digital rupee may be heading to India, and FIS India head of banking, Harish Prasad, thinks it will lead to more efficient and cheaper currency management. Now, back in February, we didn't really have a lot of discussions around this. There's a lot of speculation on if Hedera would be utilized for this. We still don't know the answer to that, just to give you guys a quick insight. But what I do want to focus on here is the rise of CBDCs. The rise of digital currencies and the rise of digital assets has taken the world by storm, especially even during a bear market, which is very interesting. It would be idiotic to ignore the facts that, one, DLT and blockchain has a very, very large shoe to fill when it comes to disrupting the financial markets. I think that DLT and crypto itself will play a pivotal role in the next major revolution, the 4th industrial revolution, as everyone does call it. And I do think that it's going to be centered on names like Hedera and these other companies in this space that are focused on some very large use cases. We talk about Ripple with XRP quite a bit. And again, I think that all of this, like this entire space, will be pivotal for it. We do see over here from Zenobia Godshock, who is the SVP comms at Swirls Labs as well as Hedera. Backstage, thanks for a great chat. FIS Global, great to hear that FIS is heads down, still building DeFi solutions for the masses on Hedera. Again, this is one of the largest financial names in the game, and this is one of many of the largest names that are tied to Hedera. The efficiencies of this DLT will shine extremely bright, and it's funny because these are just some of the use cases that we've talked about. Like, these are some of the largest names in the game. They have incredible use cases coming to Hedera, and these are just some of them. When you go and look at what Hedera is focused on, you could really see the true value behind what Hedera is going to deliver. We focused just the other day on the balance sheet for our planet, sustainability. Sustainability has arguably taken over as well as a big argument point around crypto. In fact, it's one of the most prestigious use cases out there within this market because the leading names in the space, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few other assets, are not that energy efficient. They have been argued to be possibly banned within certain areas. Their energy usage has always been touted as a big negative, hence why it will never be adopted for financial use cases. That's been the big argument. And here we have an asset that is focused on some of the largest use cases around sustainability, especially with the Guardian, which we just broke down in a video the other day. And also they have the fastest growing sustainability ecosystem, which they have a very large ecosystem already around sustainability. ServiceNow is one of those major names. Delay Piper with Toko, another massive name. And of course, Avery Dennison with Atma.io, which we are waiting for to go live. Now, of course, that's sustainability. We go over here, tokenized assets. What have I always said on this channel? Tokenization will take the world by storm. Yes, I do think that every single major asset out there with value will be tokenized. The digital move around assets is inevitable. I do think that as we look at a lot of these DLTs, a few things are going to have to be in place. Regulatory compliance, you're going to have those low predictable fees, and then of course you're going to have that security measurement. And guess what has all of them? Hedera. We actually see here, highly configurable. Hedera offers fine-grained control with key and token configurations that deliver flexibility for account KYC verification and freeze, token, supply management, transfer, and more. It is perfectly primed for use case advantage around digital asset tokenization. This is incredible. And of course, yes, they have a ton of tokenization use cases already being built out on Hedera. Again, Delay Piper, the big one here with Toko, because we've always focused on that, but also Power Transition and Infinite by Suku. Some of the greatest use cases that I've focused on with Hedera are those major names. But also, healthcare. Again, another incredible area. In fact, we've talked about healthcare and tokenization within healthcare as well, around NFTs, having your overall health records tokenized. This could very well be the next big thing. We've talked about this with what Accor's doing as well. Accor's doing some pretty large use cases within this area. And again, it is the perfect network for this. Scalability is the biggest one around this, but also security. Security with anything, if you have any information, right? We'll say client information. So name, date, birth, whatever, it needs to be secure. That's why having Hedera have that ABFT compliance is extremely large. It is a huge advantage over most networks out there, and it allows it to be extremely secure and tamper-proof, which means that when you have a government entity or an enterprise entity that does want to build something on DLT, and maybe it is going to involve client, paperwork and information, they're going to want it to be secure. Guess what the perfect use case DLT would be for that? Hedera. Over here, again, digital identity. Digital identity is a thing that's rising to the occasion over in Europe. It's been a big thing. And here you guys have, again, another use case that is focused on the big move around Web3. You see, open standards, empower users, scale to IoT. Everything that we've focused on with Hedera has always been preparing for the future, the inevitable future, which is Web3 to take over. Guess how much Web3 is projected to be worth? $144 trillion. So do you think that Web3, with that valuation, is going to, be this small market? Absolutely not. Being able to be ahead of the curve, being able to have something that is specifically designed for that major next revolution is going to put you years and years ahead of the competition. In my opinion, I do believe that Hedera with HBAR is the perfect DLT of choice for the Web3 economy. I think that it could very well be the trust layer of Web3. And also, there's so much more use case advantage here. Payments as well, real-time settlement, low and predictable fees, regulatory compliance. That regulatory compliance is a big one. Because although, yes, we have real-time settlement on other major networks, we have low and predictable fees on other major networks, but regulatory compliance is a big one. And having that already kind of baked in is a huge opportunity for them. And of course, they are projecting that by 2023, digital transaction values could reach $6.7 trillion globally. I would argue that within the next 3 to 5 years, with the World Economic Forum projecting massive amounts of money to be tokenized, with digital, use cases and digital payments and things like that continuing to explode in value as well as volume, I would argue that by 2025 to 2027, we could very well see a large percentage of everyday transactional and value growth, as well as transactional value itself, being moved over DLTs like Hedera. And we're kind of already seeing that happen right now within crypto on some of these major other DLTs. Ripple with XRP is doing very, very incredible things. We've just recently talked about on-demand liquidity and how it is expanding rapidly and how the value of XRP could significantly increase if the overall utility case behind on-demand liquidity can continue to expand, which I have no doubt that it will. We're seeing so much movement happening around this space. Yes, sure, a lot of it is distractions, like, with the FTX situation. I think that has been taken a big part away from everything, but it would be idiotic to argue the fact that, yeah, sure, there's going to be hiccups along the way, but at the end of the day, we all know where crypto is headed. We all know where DLT is headed. We all know where Hedera is headed. The team is non-stop. The HBAR Foundation, you go over to the Twitter account, it's almost like it's Christmas every single day. There's so much more, announcements, innovations happening, and it's all thanks to the rockstar team behind Hedera that continues to not only outwork themselves, but also continues to make a ton of noise within the space, making sure people know the Hedera name. Everyone knows about HBAR. Now, obviously, yes, we focus on price action. Price action isn't the greatest, but price action itself is not the focus point right now, as we know that Hedera and HBAR kind of took a backseat, drive while we were in overdrive in 2021. It started to break out back in May. I've talked about this. May of 2021, it was a perfect breakout event for, HBAR. It didn't get the groundings. It didn't get to really kind of jump out, so it ended up going into the shadow realm because of the entire market kind of going into the depths. And then all of a sudden, back in September, we made an all-time high, and then the market kind of crashed down after November. I do think that this cycle is going to be completely different because there's so much more utility cases happening on Hedera. There's a lot more marketing happening on Hedera. There's a lot more noise around Hedera. I do think that going forward, and by the way, in terms of the roadmap, they do continue to build. They already have Q1 of 2023 labeled out on here, and I do believe that they will be adding a lot more information here. But at the end of the day, I do believe that with all of these major use cases and with all of the news happening around Hedera, with all the noise, with all of the growth, the TVL continuously growing, I believe that Hedera going into the next major cycle is going to be a huge opportunity, and I do believe that Hedera with HBAR will change everything. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because of more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.